We are live. Welcome everyone to Living North Phoenix Facebook Live every Monday, and super excited to have Dave and Cheryl Eastler of Trinity Chiropractic. So thanks guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I've been fortunate to have hung out with you guys on a couple outside of work situations and gotten to know you, and I certainly value that time and opportunity. For those that are watching that haven't had that chance, let everyone know a little bit about Trinity Chiropractic and what you guys do and how you're different.
Okay.
Okay.
So we actually just opened up about a year ago. So this coming week is actually our year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We're so excited,
That
and
is
we're
exciting.
actually having a big party at our office on Thursday
Okay.
from 3 to 7.
Okay.
We're gonna have champagne and cake and free chair massages and some tours of our office. So we encourage anybody who'd like to come to pop by.
Fun.
So we actually ended up here in Arizona. We'd lived in Wyoming, and we had a practice in Wyoming for 24 years. And we love Wyoming, but we actually started vacationing here many years ago, and we just fell in love with this area.
Yeah.
So we really have wanted to move down here, and we really prayed about it, and God gave us an opportunity to sell our practice in Casper and move down here and open our dream practice.
Awesome.
So that's why we named it Trinity Chiropractic, and so you want to talk about how we're different?
We're different in a number of different ways. One of them being that so many people, when they think about going to the chiropractor, one of the first things that pops into their head is twisting, popping, cracking, and they just cringe. They're in the valley that is advanced proficiency certified in this technique.
Wow.
And so this technique, it's the newest technique in chiropractic. It was developed out of a research study at the University of Miami School of Medicine. And the doctor that developed the technique, he is an MD, he's a DC, which stands for Doctor of Chiropractic, and he has a PhD in research. And he took what he saw as the 7 most effective techniques in chiropractic and took the best parts of each one and combined them into a new technique. And in addition to that, he invented an instrument to do the adjusting, which is very precise, very gentle, and very repeatable from not only one patient to the next, one day to the next, one doctor to the next. It eliminates a lot of the variables with any other type of adjusting.
Interesting.
Now we take that technique and we combine it with postural and spinal rehabilitation to address the underlying structures so that we can make your progress not only faster but more permanent, so that we're addressing the reasons why you're having the problems, the reasons why you're suffering from your pain. Rather than chasing the pain, we're getting at the root cause of it.
So is it all tool or machine based, or is there manual adjusting also?
I certainly can adjust manually or with a drop piece. I also have another adjusting instrument, but my go-to, my primary technique for adjusting is with this instrument. It's called an integrator, and it is the instrument that was invented by Dr. Holder, who developed the technique. And I actually trained directly under the doctor that developed the technique and got certified by him.
Nice. Okay.
One of the things that I really love about this technique is it's so gentle. So we are actually able to work on a lot of people who otherwise could not have chiropractic services.
Sure.
So we can work on a lot of seniors. They might have osteoporosis or osteopenia, or people who've had surgeries before. And so we can work on them because it is such a very gentle technique. And it is the only FDA-approved instrument to correct a misalignment.
Interesting. Okay. So forgive me for my being naive and all that kind of stuff. I don't know the terminology, but my mom introduced me and my brother at an early age to chiropractic type of stuff and organic foods and that kind of thing.
Good mom.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
And she found chiropractors, again, I don't mean any negativity towards the profession or anything, but what I would refer to as like acupressure, where they found certain points and then either what they said or my layman's terms, like released energy in a certain spot. So with this tool and what you studied, is it similar to that in that you're finding areas that are either being not complained about, where there's pain and then the patients are saying that's where it hurts, or you're saying let me feel around and then do the alignment there?
Great question. Actually, this technique, what we do is, it's a neurologically based technique. So we don't necessarily go to we don't necessarily go to the spot where somebody says, oh, it hurts here. Oh, well, that must need to be adjusted. Not necessarily. We do very specific deep tendon reflex checks. Deep tendon reflexes are the window into the nervous system. So we do very specific reflex checks to find exactly which bones in the spine need to be adjusted and what direction they need to go, and we adjust that bone. Typically, believe it or not, the spots that we adjust aren't where the pain is.
Right.
Where you feel the pain is actually a compensation for that primary problem. So when you have a spinal misalignment, it's called a subluxation. And there are primary subluxations, which are the ones that are the root cause of your problems, and then there are secondary compensations or secondary subluxations or compensations. That's where you're feeling the pain. For example, if you have a bone in your upper neck that's misaligned and it increases the tension on your brainstem and spinal cord just slightly, your body's very sensitive to that. So what your body's going to do is it's going to sacrifice the musculoskeletal system and distort the spine somewhere else to take that pressure off and preserve the integrity of the nerves. So if we just go and adjust where the pain is, we're adjusting these compensations that are just going to keep coming back because the primary problem wasn't addressed.
Right.
So we go to find that, correct that, and the other problems settle down themselves.
So a really great example of this is we actually have a really good friend of ours who saw a different chiropractor for a long time, and then she finally came to see us. Well, she could not turn her neck, like hardly at all. She had neck surgery, she'd had a lot of issues for many years. So she came to see us, and he did the checks that he talked about, and what he found was her primary misalignment was actually her coccyx, which is clear down there. So he adjusted that. He didn't even touch her neck. She got up off the table and she was able to turn her neck, and she's like,
that's awesome.
I do not know how you did that. She goes, that is amazing.
That's awesome.
So that's a perfect example of it's all connected. And so a lot of times when people go to chiropractors and they go, oh, my neck hurts, and the chiropractor adjusts their neck, well, that primary is not being corrected. So this method tests for the primary misalignment, which is the one we really want to make sure that we address.
Could I make the argument that those chiropractors are basically just prolonging issues, and because they're not treating the actual problem, not really helping the patient?
You know, an argument can definitely be made for that. I'm certainly not going to speak poorly of any other chiropractor or any other technique there is, because every chiropractic technique works to some extent or another.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna speak poorly of anyone.
What we love about this one is it's so incredibly research based. It's actually one of the most scientific types of techniques actually in the world, and there's only a little over 200 doctors that are certified in it.
Wow.
But it's pretty new to Arizona, so we're super excited to kind of bring it and really get people excited about it.
Yeah.
So as he said earlier, there's 2 doctors that are advanced certified in the Phoenix area.
Okay.
But this technique is the technique that is used at the largest family practices in the states of Wyoming, Colorado, New York, and Michigan, just to name a few. So you will see that it will catch on fire here because it is so gentle.
Yeah.
Patients really love it.
That's awesome.
And another thing that sets this technique apart from every other chiropractic technique out there is it's the only technique that actually came from research, as opposed to a concept that was developed and then research done to back it up. The research project that was being done was basically on the efficacy of chiropractic, and so the doctor, his name is Jay Holder. Dr. Holder wanted to take a different approach, and he actually did not use pain patients, because a lot of times when they do research on chiropractic, it's neck pain, back pain, migraines, etc. And there's a lot of subjective, that's what it is. It's their subjective complaints. But this group, what he did, he actually chose cocaine addicts who were undergoing rehab, drug rehab. And there is a phenomenon called the brain reward cascade and cascade deficiency syndrome. About 80 to 90% of the stimulation that your brain gets comes from movement of the spine and your neck in particular. And so if you have a decrease in that mobility, that's going to decrease the feedback to your brain, the stimulation to your brain. So you're not getting the feel-good chemicals, you're not getting the dopamine and the serotonin release. So people are more prone to addiction and compulsive disorders and stuff like that because of this reward cascade or reward deficiency syndrome. So he took this population, and generally with drug addicts, cocaine addicts in particular in this case, there's a very low completion rate as they're going through their rehabilitation. And so the control group was only in rehab, and the test subjects got adjusted as well. And now I'm going to back up a little bit, and he wanted to take all the variables out of, or as many variables as he could. Now with manual adjustments, other handheld instruments, drop piece adjustments, there are a lot of different ways that you can adjust the spine. Every one of them, there are variables in the amount of force being used, and you know, from one doctor to the next, one patient to the next, one day to the next, and even time of day. You can go adjust one patient manually, go to the next patient, and it's a totally different feel. So what he did was he developed an instrument. He invented the instrument called the integrator, where it's spring-loaded and it has a little pressure switch in it, and it thrusts a 1/2 inch, recoils a 1/4 inch, and you can induce right or left torque into that adjustment, and it does it at the same pressure where you put the pressure on at the spot that you need to, and it discharges, it thrusts and recoils exactly the same every time. So he took all those variables out. Okay, so now back to the research study. The patients that, or the test subjects that received chiropractic care in addition to the drug rehab actually completed at a way higher rate than the ones that only had the
That's
rehab.
fascinating.
I can't remember the exact numbers, but for some reason, like 27%, I think, or somewhere in that neighborhood, actually, I could be off, but it was a very low percentage actually completed their rehabilitation. The ones that got the adjustments with this new technique that he developed for the research study, along with rehab, I believe it was 100% or almost 100% completed their rehabilitation. Because he was correcting that cascade deficiency syndrome.
That's incredible.
So what's cool about this technique is if he takes another level of training, he can actually work with drug addicts. And it's actually, he would be considered a specialist. And the insurance companies are, some of them are covering him, that would cover him as a specialist for that. So we may eventually go that route, but right now
cool.
In my spare time.
I think
But you have so much of it.
I think the other thing that makes us really unique is we combine the adjustment along with state-of-the-art rehab. We, at our last practice, we only had enough room to just do the adjustments. So we wanted to make sure we had a bigger clinic here because we really felt like that was a missing piece. So what I mean by that is, you know, the adjustment is the most important thing. We got to have those bones aligned and the nerve pressure taken off. But unless we really strengthen and stretch the supporting structure around the spine, a person is likely going to continue to have problems. So we have state-of-the-art equipment that Olympic athletes use, that professional athletes use, that astronauts use, to really help people optimize their functioning.
That's awesome. I've never heard of a chiropractic office having all of that stuff.
We are very unique. The only other chiropractor right now that is advanced certified in this area, she is in Scottsdale, and she does the adjustment only. So we are truly the only clinic in the entire Phoenix area that does this type of adjusting, the TRT, and combines it with state-of-the-art rehab. So
that's awesome.
We're excited. We
Very
help
cool.
people. More people we help, the better it is.
Totally, yeah. Would one of you be able to log in and see if there's been any comments or questions?
Sure.
So Dave, you brought up something earlier that I was going to ask about. So what impact does chiropractic have on someone who has issues with migraines and headaches? That seems to be something very common in the Phoenix area for whatever reason. Walk us through that and your experience with treating patients that you've had, if you have, for those that have come in with those issues.
We've seen a lot of patients with headaches and migraines, and the vast majority respond extremely well. And actually, we haven't had anybody yet since we've opened our practice here that has not responded positively to the adjustments. Now that I said that, I'm probably jinxing myself. I find that's knock on wood look laminate table here. But by decreasing that tension on the nervous system, the brainstem and spinal cord in particular, that has a very positive effect on issues like migraines, because everything in your body is controlled by the nervous system. And if you are affecting that nervous system, putting more stress on it, more tension on it, that is going to cause problems. And so this technique is also known as what's called a tonal technique, where we are focused on normalizing that tone, that tension on the brainstem and spinal cord, and decreasing that abnormal nerve feedback. Just look at the spinal cord and brainstem like you would a guitar string. When you pluck that guitar string, it has a certain tone to it.
Sure.
Right? If you turn one of the keys and put more tension on that guitar string, then you're going to affect the tone. Okay, same thing with your brainstem and spinal cord.
Right.
Just like I was talking before, if you have that misalignment, it's going to affect the tone of the brainstem and the spinal cord and cause those nerves to fire at a different rate.
Right.
Back to migraines though, it's a matter of decreasing that irritation to the nerves.
Okay. So another question I have is, I have a bad habit, or I've had a bad habit for about, 35 years or so now, of cracking my fingers.
Okay.
So during the day, I'll just go like this and just keep cracking.
Okay.
What is your opinion on what that does to bones, ligaments, that kind of stuff?
Well, stop it. The cracking, the popping, I didn't even like that. Okay. The noise is really meaningless, but where people run into trouble is if they're habitually doing it multiple times throughout the day, all day, every day. You actually end up developing just this low-grade inflammation in that area, in those joints. And your mom probably told you, if you keep doing that, you're going to get arthritis. There's some truth to that. It can actually, over time, cause some arthritic issues.
So I need to stop.
So people, the noise it makes, people are like, oh, you're cracking a bone. You're not cracking a bone. It's the noise you're hearing is actually just the gas escaping that space is all that noise is. But it does kind of sound a little bit funky, right?
Saying I've got gas in my fingers is a little weird. Anyone have any questions?
We don't have any questions yet, but yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask us.
Okay. And time-wise?
Let's see here. 4:50. Yeah,
Okay.
we have a little bit.
So,
About 10 minutes.
Yeah. So earlier you mentioned this Thursday is your 1-year anniversary and the celebration that you're having at your office. So let everyone know where your office is and time again and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So it's this Thursday at Trinity Chiropractic, which is in Glendale. We are just south, a couple blocks of Midwestern University. So it's 18275 North 59th Avenue. We're Suite M178. Again, it's Thursday from 3 to 7. We're gonna have cake, champagne, free chair massages by our amazing massage therapist, Angelina. She is from Thailand, and she's been doing it for 20 years. She's incredible.
Tiny but mighty.
She's tiny but mighty. So if y'all need a good deep tissue massage, our girl is your girl. And we're gonna give some office tours, and yeah, it'll be great.
And that's your only location?
That's our only location now. Maybe
Okay.
someday we might expand.
Okay.
So I think one thing too about our practice that's so different is when we designed our office, we actually traveled the country to look at some of the top chiropractic practices to see how did they design their clinic, what software were they using, what rehab equipment did they feel was most beneficial for their patients, what chiropractic technique were they using, and so that's how we designed our office. So when you come into our office, it does not feel like a doctor's office at all. We actually designed it more like a spa. I don't know about you, but on the rare occasion that I do have to go to the doctor, it does not feel good. It is not a place of healing. You walk in that room and it's like cold,
You've got the glass slider.
clinical. The front desk people are not friendly. I mean, talk about not a place of healing, right? So we have a totally healing place. I mean, our staff is going to call you by name every time you walk through that door. We get to know our patients on a personal level. We celebrate with them, we laugh with them, we cry with them on some occasions. So we are very relationship based. And you can also go to our website at trinitychiroaz.com, and we actually have a 3D tour that you can take of our office.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah. And you can also see some of the rehab equipment that I was talking with you about and learn a little bit more about it.
Okay. Do you guys, on the occasion where someone's in so much pain they can't get around, they don't have transportation, are you able to go to their place? It has to be in your office, okay?
It has to be in our office,
Not at this time anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it, I've been to chiropractic offices where it's however many people at one time, so 3, 4, 10 people at a time, each getting adjusted. In your office, is it one at a time, multiple people?
We have 3 adjusting rooms, and so obviously I can only adjust one person at a time, but we have it very efficiently set up so that even though we have the 3 adjusting rooms, everybody gets their individual attention.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then after they get their adjustment, they go to the rehab area where we have a chiropractic assistant. And based on what they have going on, we have 3 different levels of rehab that we take them through. And that's another thing to really stress how we're different. We are not a stop and pop place. So that is not gonna fix your problem. It's gonna give you some temporary pain relief. We actually wanna really help people long term. So that is definitely one thing that's different about our practice. We are a corrective care practice, so we are going to set a person up on a treatment plan that's appropriate for them and their situation. And another thing too, we can't unfortunately take drop-ins because we are very focused on our patient time, and we give our patients 100% of our time, and so we are by appointment only.
Okay.
But one thing good is we have late appointments, so we're open Monday through Thursday, but we are open until 7 p.m.
Okay.
So it gives people an opportunity, commuters, to come in at that late time.
Yeah, the times that I've been in the offices where there were literally like 10 people getting adjusted, not literally each at the same time, because obviously that would take something extraordinary, possibly. It didn't feel like we, the ones that weren't getting the attention, to each their own, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, whatever, but having the separate rooms and each one getting their adjustments when they get it, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think our patients are loving it, and we have a lot of testimonials on our website, but actually on our YouTube page, which you can get through to our website, we have a lot of video testimonials from our patients who really talk about how we're different and how they've had success through our practice. So we really love that piece of it, of really helping people more long term and helping them optimize their life. I mean, we want to help people get back to their life and doing the things they love to do.
And it's a healing journey. It's not a one and done.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, everything that you've mentioned, I mean, it definitely makes it sound like to me that you are different in a good way, and then offering all this stuff. Like, I've never heard of a chiropractor office with rehab stuff. I mean, like, I've been to physical therapy, but not part of a chiropractic office, and I think that's awesome. Having what someone needs for that healing journey, or many parts of it at least, I think is awesome, and definitely providing something different and so much needed. And we're in an area here where we do have an older population. Not that that's the only demographic you work on, but they're in need of recovery stuff just like anyone else is. And
Absolutely.
when you have tools and processes that are more helpful to them, that's fascinating. I mean, it's extending, well, I'll say it, I know maybe you can or can't say it, but I mean, I would think it would extend life. So, like, who doesn't want that?
Absolutely.
That's
yes,
awesome.
Absolutely. And I would just encourage anybody, I would love to just give a person a tour of our practice. We love to show how we're different. So if they want to call our office, I'm Cheryl again, schedule a time with me. I'd love to take them on a tour. I'll buy their favorite Starbucks because we have Starbucks like almost right next door to us, which is awesome. And just give them a tour and just let them see how we're different.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So as we close up here, do you guys, so Amanda May's checking in saying she loves Trinity Chiropractic.
Aw, thanks, Amanda.
Thanks, Amanda.
A couple other people watching. Any other things that you'd like to bring up, close with, mention?
I just want to thank this amazing community.
Absolutely.
We have been just so blessed, and everybody has just opened their arms around us, including you, to say, hey, how can we help you? How can we spread this message of Trinity Chiropractic? And we just are so thankful to everybody. I mean, that's amazing.
Well, we're thankful that you guys are here.
Yes.
I mean, as someone who has experienced back pain and not been able to get up, I know what some pain is like. Everyone has some people have different levels of pain. And just to hear this, it's a breath of fresh air. So we certainly wish you all the continued and more success. Super, super exciting 1 year anniversary. Hopefully a bunch of people watching will be able to show up.
Yes, we'd love to see you.
And if you guys are up to it, I know you offered to give people tours as they come in, but if you're open to it, maybe do a Facebook Live with us coming through and doing a tour.
That would be
Yeah, that'd be
awesome.
awesome.
If you
Yeah,
guys
sure.
Love it.
So maybe we'll
Love
schedule that and
Yeah.
see if there's something that the community can get out of that and see more of it, because this is awesome. I mean, everyone, even if no one, in my opinion, is experiencing pain, there's still preventative stuff they can do to prevent future pain. So all of this is
Absolutely.
it's just awesome.
Well, and talking about people not experiencing pain yet, only 10% of the nerves in your body sense pain. The other 90% of the nerves in your body are tied to function. So if you're feeling pain, chances are you've had a problem for some time that's already been affecting your function. So it's not just about the pain, it's about optimizing your health.
Right.
Yes.
The other thing too, just really quick, that we can do is if anybody would like, we would do a free spinal screening. We actually use technology that was developed by NASA to determine, it's a little instrument called an insight where we can run it down a person's neck or their back, and it determines and looks at temperature differentials from one side of your spine to the other, which can indicate nerve interference.
Wow.
It's very telling, only takes just a couple of minutes, and we'd be happy to offer that free if a person is just interested in coming to check it out.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Wow. Anything else?
I think that's it. Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.